Good evening, NeapoliFans. NeapolitanGal here. It has been a minute since I have made a video. And why is that? I had laryngitis and the flu. I'm still got a little scratchy voice, but I have my voice back. I'm really hoping I've got a full voice back for Friday night karaoke because I am jonesing, let me tell you. So, I think tonight's video, I don't think I've covered this subject, but if I have, hey, maybe it needs to be covered again. So, as the sun goes down on your side of town, anyone's side of town, a couple of things really need to happen. Your taillights need to work, and your headlights should be on. There is no question that when the sun goes down, just like when it starts raining, your headlights need to be on. And, you know, it wasn't until I bought this car a little over a month ago that I realized just how it is that somebody, excuse me, can hit the road without realizing they don't have their lights on. In a vehicle like mine, I have regular headlights, but I have LED running lights. And let me tell you, those LED running lights, those suckers are bright. The very first night we had this car, we didn't realize we were running with the LED running lights, not the headlights. They're that bright. So, but that's not what I want to talk about. What I want to discuss are the people who are driving who clearly have no lights on, no running lights, no parking lights, no headlights. I'm an Uber and Lyft driver, and I just brought a Lyft passenger up to our airport in Fort Myers from Marco Island, Florida. And I picked him up. Now, the time has changed. The time just fell back this past Sunday. So even though it's 6:35 right now, it looks like it's about 8 o'clock at night because it's darker these days. For me, it doesn't bother me. But I don't understand how some people are getting on the highway and some people are on long, dark roads. And you can clearly tell if you're anywhere near the vehicle in front of you, you don't have a light on. You don't have your headlights on. How do you do that? Now on top of that, I got a cramp in my leg. On top of that, you know, you get people who don't run with their headlights on when it's raining. Don't run with their headlights on when they're driving, and they should be using headlights. But then you also get the people who, I need to slow down some. But then you also get people who change lanes and don't know what this turn signal is. They change lanes willy-nilly to the right, to the left. Sounds like a dance, don't it? Like the Cupid Shuffle. And you get these people who are busy highways, on busy city streets, on streets that have no street lights, and they'll change lanes without signaling. Or they'll get into a lane that clearly 2 blocks back said that this lane ends due to construction. Then they'll want to get over at the last second and don't want to use a turn signal. I had one do that to me earlier coming off of Marco Island. The last mile or so of the island going off, they're putting down drain pipes, water pipes, I mean. And then as you get off the island, they're doing some more work, and for about another mile and a half. And then after that, it clears out, and but there's 2 spots. There's one spot while you're on Marco Island at the left lane. It's 2 lanes on, 2 lanes off at the left lane ends, and they give you a good 1.5 city blocks to get over before that lane runs out. I've been on the island recently. I knew that lane was there, and I stayed in the right-hand lane because I knew the left-hand lane ended, and good luck getting over sometimes. And it's not like we didn't have warning. And then once you're off of the island and over the first little bridge, then the right lane's closed and you've got to be in the left lane. Again, you had at least the equivalent of a block and a half city blocks, 1.5 city blocks, heads up that this was coming. And I don't quite get how people are so blind to these traffic situations. Well, they just don't give a damn. But when you are planning on, especially in tight traffic, if you need to get over, you better put a turn signal on, because no one is obligated to let you over if you're not using your turn signal. Not one person is obligated to let you in if you're not properly signaling. You have to wait your turn. I am very happy to let a person in front of me as long as they're properly signaling. If they're not properly signaling, I'm not letting you in. Unless you butt in and, threaten basically to cause an accident, then I guess I'm letting you in whether I want to or not, So yeah, and then you get on the highway. Our roads for our interstate in this area are 70 miles an hour. In Florida, unless you're in a construction or a school zone, you can go up to 5 miles an hour over the speed limit, unless you're in a residential neighborhood. But you can go up to 5 miles an hour over the speed limit before you can technically be ticketed, unless you're in a residential neighborhood, school zone, or a construction zone. All bets are off for fines and fees in those areas, but if I'm out here on 75, it's 70 miles an hour. I'm doing 75 to 77. I actually had some jackass earlier flash me, and I had actually gotten over so they could go ahead and go around me. Then I could get back into the lane I needed to be in because of the traffic. They not only followed me into the center lane from the left-hand lane, but then the jackass had the nerve to flash me. Get in behind me and flash me. It's like, you know what? I can't go any faster than the van that was in front of me. And I don't know whether he didn't see the van in front of me or what. But, yeah, so the damn asshole flashed me. And, coming up on the highway right now are a bunch of cars. If you can safely move over from the right lane to the center lane, that is what you should be doing when you're on the highway, to allow for the traffic that is coming up on the highway to safely merge without having to yield totally to a grinding halt. So if you are in, someone just knocked over something in their trailer. So if you are in the right-hand lane on the highway and you approach an exit, you should be, if you're able to, you should be moving over to at least the center lane to allow for cars to come up. And here is the kicker. Many, many miles in advance that you're coming up on that highway exit and on-ramp. So you should already be maneuvered over prior to getting to that overpass. You should already be in that center lane so that people can safely come up onto the highway. But yeah, I've 2 Fridays ago, it was a Friday 1 week prior to Halloween, I woke up with this raspy voice and had a fever. And I'm like, I woke up, and if you've never had laryngitis before, let me tell you, if it's weird. I'm sort of losing my voice again. I really haven't let my voice box heal since I started with this. But Friday before Halloween, I woke up, and if you've had laryngitis, you know exactly what I'm going to describe. If you've never had it before, this is what it's like. Feels like when you wake up that someone has their finger on your voice box right here. And it's not it doesn't hurt. It just, you can feel the pressure there. And if you have this much voice, you're really lucky. So I woke up and I sat up in bed, because I get up at mornings at 5:15 to get our son ready for school and get him off to the school bus stop for high school. And you know, teenagers, if you don't get them up, they're not getting up. So I woke up, I'm like, oh hell, where's my voice? Ah! So I get up and get him ready for school. Basically, I make his breakfast and lunch. He gets himself ready for school. But I make his breakfast and lunch, and I'm like, you know, I feel warm. So I get the thermometer out while I was in the kitchen and took my temperature, and yeah, I had almost 100 temperature. So I sent my boss a text message. I'm like, I have no voice, and I'm running a fever. So I am going to stay home today and see if whatever this is will pass. So I had no body aches with that fever. I had, honestly, the only thing I did have, besides, I had a little bit of a cough starting, and the no voice, and the fever. I had 0 body aches. Now, if you remember when I first started this video, I told you I had the flu. I did have the flu. So Friday, I stayed home from work. I did a Halloween costume contest that night, and actually had my voice backing up. I could karaoke. Saturday, I had more of a cough going on. I had to pick up a couple from an airport north of the airport I was just dropping somebody off at. And when I picked them up, I said, you know what? After I dropped them off, I said, I think I'm going to go to the doctor's. I still had no body aches, a little low-grade fever, cough was the only thing I really had. Shoot, I didn't even have sniffles. So there's an urgent care not far from my condo. Pop into urgent care, and he starts describing this new policy now with doctors in urgent cares not really being allowed to give antibiotics out like they used to. Antibiotics basically now nearly have a registry just like pain medicines. He says, but I do want to give you a flu test. The flu is going around. You haven't had a flu shot. Let's give you the test. I'm like, but the only thing I have is a cough and a fever. I have all the energy in the world, and then some. I'm not even hurt. So, well, let's give you that anyway. Comes back positive for influenza A. I'm like, how is this possible? I feel perfectly fine. So that was Saturday. Sunday, I was doing all right, taking my Tamiflu, taking my liquid cough syrup. Monday, I'm like, I know we're so busy these days at work. This is our busy season. I went to work Monday. Made sure I cough and sneeze into my blouse. Or Kleenex. Well, usually I didn't have a Kleenex handy when a cough fit came on, so it was usually good in my shirt. Took my cough medicine with me, took my Tamiflu before I went to work, And Tuesday I woke up, fever was back. So I stayed home. And believe it or not, that's when the body aches started really setting in. I'm like, what? This flu was so backwards. It was like, why did it take, what was it, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday? It took 5 days for body aches to set in. Before, and I really didn't even have any body aches, to be quite honest. My body was tired, but it wasn't achy. So I'm like, this just makes no sense. I mean, it makes so little sense, it's not even funny. So I went to work the rest of the week and was still coughing my head off. I've still got the raspy voice because I'm a donk off. You know, I have my job is 95 to 98% on the phone. About 75% of our clientele that calls in to get appliance repair set up are elderly. So it's not like I can whisper on the phone. I did my absolute best with keeping my voice down. But I'm probably going to have this until this weekend because I don't have an occupation where I can let my voice box rest. I'm actually hoping I can get rid of this heartburn I've got going on tonight so that I can go so that I can go and have a margarita tonight after dinner. And it's funny too because I went out that Friday night, I went out that Saturday night when I first got sick for a Halloween costume contest. I was Maleficent, and I probably will post my Maleficent picture along with some sort of probably little clip art of heavy traffic or something like that, or headlights for my thumbnail. But yeah, so I went out 2 Halloween costume contests back to back, and the actual Halloween night I was so tired I didn't even bother getting dressed and going out. I didn't even put makeup on for work, Halloween makeup. I just was like, yeah, I'm done, because I was so tired. But so yeah, when you're driving, when headlights are warranted, get the headlights on. When turn signals are warranted, which is every time you change a lane, not once every couple of times you change, no, every time you change lanes, you should be using turn signals. Pay attention to the road signs. If it says left lane ends X amount of area, get over into the right lane. Go ahead and get your turn signal on. Wait till someone lets you in and get over before you get up to the spot where you literally are having to merge in because you can't go any further. Same thing on the right lane, obviously. Don't tailgate people. You know, I like to rant about bad driving, as I'm a very good driver. I pay attention. I don't text and drive. I do voice text and drive. I don't have any tickets on my record. I very seldom ever actually speed. I do like to keep things where they should be. So yeah, just follow the rules of the road. The rules aren't that hard to follow. It's a lot easier than the alternative, you know, getting into accidents, paying fines. And so, yeah. Well, I am just about to get off to head to my condo. I'm going to stop and pick up me something for dinner. So, yeah. Y'all have a great evening. I hope you enjoyed my video. I'm glad to be back. I really missed YouTube while I was sick. I didn't want to do videos that didn't have any sound. I have a local guy that does that. I've got a van in front of me right now, no lights on. Oh my gosh. How do you do that? No tail lights on, no headlights on. How do you do that? I just don't get it. He is using his turn signal though. Well, he's got one thing going for him, I suppose. But yeah. Hey, you can see me. So yeah, guys, I've had laryngitis. I have had horrible cough from the flu. I've had the flu. I'm just waiting for the laryngitis to totally go away. I will be going live. Can't go live with YouTube, but I will be doing a YouTube video from my phone this Sunday from the world famous Swamp Buggy races. I won tickets and we're going. And I don't just mean me and my son and our friends. We're going. So keep an eye out for that video. Y'all have a great evening. Later.